I'd like to welcome everybody to the Strolling of the Heifer third annual Farm Food Business Plan Competition. It is the first year that Vermont Technical College and Strolling of the Heifers have merged together to create the Farm Food Business Plan Competition that is now statewide. And I want to thank so much Vermont Technical College for joining us in this effort. I just want to tell you, Philip Conroy is sitting there, and 2 years ago, I asked Roger Albee, who unfortunately can't be here. He had some sort of a fall, and asked Roger to mention it to Phil, and he did. And the next thing I know, I'm eating a sandwich with Phil, and I prepared all these papers to present to him, and he says, "I'm in." Okay, which was very exciting, and I want to thank Phil for that. To my left here is Steve Paddock, who's also going to be introducing folks. And Phil and I have worked very closely in coordinating this wonderful competition. And I know that there's a lot of nervous people sitting here. And this is so wonderful for both Vermont Technical College and Strolling of the Heifers, most importantly for the state of Vermont to create new businesses that will support small farms and encourage more employment. It's very, very exciting for us. In the 3 years that I've been involved in it, due to Jeff Lewis, who's sitting right there, Jeff, raise your hand, who ran the business plan competition for BDCC. And again, like Phil, I called him up, and because some farmers were encouraging me to do that, and asked Jeff if Strolling of the Heifers can join them and create a farm division. And over the phone, he didn't even know who I was, really. And he says, "Sure, come on over." So thank you, Jeff. And so from my experience in the 3 years, we have amazing, amazing success stories. And most of the people, and I think the contestants here will attest to this, that it's not so much the prize money, but it's the process that has helped them. But also, it's probably the only time in your life that you'll actually get at least $1,000 for writing a business plan. So I want to thank all my sponsors who helped me do that, especially this year, Merchants Bank, and so many other banks as well, like People's Bank. I just can't think on top of my head of First Credit Union, many, many others who provide sponsorships to the Strolling of Heifers that makes this possible. So I would like to introduce to you our first speaker, who is Pat Moulton-Powden. And Pat, who is sitting right there, she left her state job a short while ago to take a position with the Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation, which is our regional development corporation for southeastern Vermont. Pat is presently heading up the workforce development at her BDCC office before becoming the executive director of BDCC when Jeff Lewis retires, I believe, at the end of 2013. And then he volunteered for the rest of his life to be the photographer for Strolling of the Heifers.
This is what happens when you start dealing with early money.
He's an amazing photographer. So I welcome you, Pat Moulton-Powden.
Thank you very much, Orly. It is a true honor and pleasure to be here today. I think this is my third business plan competition where I've come down in various state capacities to do this, and it's exciting. I mean, this is a great partnership between Strolling of the Heifers and Vermont Technical College, and I think that just exemplifies that there's a lot of exciting energy and innovation and education that goes on as a result of this business plan competition, and it's just great to have these fine institutions sponsoring. So thank you, Phil, and thank you, Orly, for your work on this. And this competition is just super to see happen. As my father would say, it warms the cockles of this old economic developer's heart to see the kind of people and businesses that are the ideas and the innovation that's growing out of the work that's done here. And it's exciting from an economic development standpoint because the data consistently shows that most new jobs are created every year from small business, and more important, from the small business startups is where we see most of the jobs being created. It's also a chance to just show off the incredible ingenuity and innovation amongst the population in Vermont and in this county. And it's a chance to grow this really critical and important these sectors of the economy, food, farm, forestry. It's exciting to see them all together. As Orly's already touched on, whether you win or lose, you always learn something. It's the process that of going from A to Z that you can't help but learn and be enriched and take away more than perhaps just a few dollars, or maybe hopefully a lot more dollars. The winners get the dollars, which is a beautiful thing. And we've seen that so many of the successful businesses in the past are still in business and doing really great things and growing and thriving in the state of Vermont. So that's what is really all about, is creating these new entrepreneurs. But the most important thing is that Vermont needs you. Vermont needs these entrepreneurs. We need your innovation. We need the jobs you're creating. We need the opportunities for our young people to help you grow. Windham County needs you. And last but not least, we love your product. We love the products and the services that you provide, whether we're wearing it or eating it or sitting on it or sitting in it. And so it's just exciting to be here and be part of this competition, and my congratulations to all the competitors and to the winners, but you're all winners just by being here today. And my thanks to the sponsors, to Strolling, to VDC, and the other sponsors, to the judges who had the hard job of trying to decide who would be the winners amongst, I'm sure, what are fabulous candidates. So congratulations, and thank you so much, Orly, for the opportunity to be here today. On to the good stuff, right?
So I would like to present to you our second speaker, Ellen McCullough Lovell. And Ellen is the president of Marlborough College. I'm always so impressed with Ellen's background because she's so down to earth. You can call Ellen anytime, and she's so approachable, and she's so loving and a good friend. Ellen has been a president of Marlborough College since 2004. Ellen served as chief of staff to Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy for 10 years. Under the Clinton administration, she worked as executive director of President Committee on the Arts and Humanities, deputy chief of staff for the First Lady, and deputy assistant to the president and advisor to the First Lady on the Millennium Project. It is with great honor and pleasure to introduce my friend, Ellen McCullough Lovell.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to welcome you to the Marlborough College Center for Graduate Programs and Studies. I think this is the second year where we've hosted or been the host location for the Vermont Farm Food Business Plan competition. And I think it's very, very close to our own purposes. So I just wanted to welcome you and sketch out a few of the reasons that we have so much in common with you who are sitting here today and with this competition. But I want to acknowledge Orly and all of her great work. One of the things I learned very quickly when I returned to Vermont and settled in Windham County is that when Orly calls you, say yes. Right? There's just one answer. It's yes, Orly. I would like to do that. And I'm really proud that our Secretary of Agriculture, Chuck Ross, is here. We shared many years with Senator Leahy together, and Phil Conroy, the president of Vermont Technical College, and the other dignitaries who are in this room today. You are in a place of innovation as well as innovators. When the Holstein Association built this building and then decided that it didn't need the whole building, Marlborough College decided to create some graduate programs here. The college, as you probably know, is a small liberal arts college on Potash Hill in Marlborough, and it focuses on creative thinking and critical thinking and problem solving and clear writing and those basic competencies that you need to thrive in the world with the broad liberal arts, or what I like to call liberating arts knowledge. What seemed to be needed in our region was a place where people could keep learning, where adults could come and learn and bolster their careers or change their careers and gain skills that would help them do that. And over the years, what we've done is focus in 3 areas: management, technology, and education. And I just want to say a little bit about the management part and how it reflects the creative spirits in this room. One of the things that we did was create one of the first MBA degrees in sustainability, managing for sustainability. And then we realized that there are a lot of people who are thinking that way. Certainly Strolling of the Heffords and the Slow Living Summit are reflections of those values. And they, I think, are our Vermont values as well. And so we created a certificate program and then a master's degree program that we call a Master's in Mission-Driven Organizations. Now, the thinking was that this is really to help our nonprofit managers gain the skills that they need to be more effective, because something like almost 19% of the economic activity of Vermont is based on our nonprofit organizations. But we called it the Masters in Mission-Driven Organizations. And we found that the MBA students, who are mostly entrepreneurs and mostly people who are getting skills because they want to start businesses that are sustainable and they want to start them in Vermont, that they and the nonprofit managers had an awful lot in common, and they began taking the same courses. And as I was thinking about speaking to you today, I realized that we're really all involved in mission-driven organizations. It doesn't matter whether they technically line up as for-profit or 501c3s or maybe new B Corps or L3Cs. Do I have that right, Pat? These hybrid, interesting forms that we're coming up with now and really fostering in Vermont. But we are mission-driven. And that takes a new kind of thinking, another kind of skill set, and has a very, very special connection to Vermont. And I think one of the things that is the most significant about this competition and about the Strolling and the Slow Living Summit that we're all about to go into over the next few days is that they all both characterize Vermont values, support Vermont values, and I think spread Vermont values to people who are really yearning for a more sane way of life and certainly for more mission-driven activities in their own lives. It's probably pretty significant that in Windham County alone, there's some 300 Marlborough College alumni. And this is a very small college. So that's a lot of alumni in one place. And they've been job creators and job expanders. And so they are joining in this spirit of creative thinking and creative problem solving that you all represent. So I want to also, along with Pat, congratulate everybody in advance and to say how much we at Marlborough College hope to get to know what you're doing and serve you in any ways that you need, where you need more skills to accomplish your dreams. Thank you again for being here.
Thanks for coming, and I want to just take a moment and recognize the work of all the people in this room, whether they've been judges or participants or supporting people for this whole project. It started earlier this year in February with about 120 people taking part in a video program through Vermont Interactive Technologies for an information session about the business plan competition, and we had people from all around the state participate in that. And subsequently, we had around 70 applications for the first round of the competition, from which we selected 14 finalists to complete full business plans and then appear today to present their plans to a panel of 18 judges that participated and offered their time and expertise to help with this. And so it's been an exciting program for Vermont Tech as exemplary of our outreach into food systems and applied agriculture around the state. And it's my pleasure at this time to introduce the president of Vermont Tech, Dr. Phil Conroy, to talk a bit about Vermont Tech's involvement.
Thank you, Steve, and it's great to see you all here this afternoon. It's a pleasure to be down here in the sun belt of Vermont. From the north. I enjoy coming down to Windham County, and we've become quite good friends with many people in this part of the state. But Vermont Tech is a statewide organization, and we're really pleased to be part of this effort. As Steve said, that Vermont Tech is committed to the development of business and workforce here in the state. We describe ourselves as Vermont's innovative polytechnic institution. And for that, we mean that we are looking at not just at what is happening now, but we're trying to look at what's going to happen tomorrow. And part of our challenge as we go forward is to anticipate what the needs of the state are and then adjust ourselves to what that is. This business plan competition is a great example of that. If you look at the entrepreneurs who are participating in this, they're not building Vermont just today, but they're building Vermont for tomorrow. And I'm particularly excited about one division of the competition, and that's the student division. And it just so happens that the students who participate in that division are all Vermont Tech students. So it's a particular pride that I have for them. And on our campus in Randolph, they're our rock stars. And it's important to recognize that. But more important for the competition, there's no losers and winners in this competition. They're all winners. Because the process that they've gone through to develop this business plan has introduced them to not only ideas, but the services that are available around Vermont to help them be successful. Steve Paddock and his team, people from SBDC, which is part of Vermont Tech, is a service organization that does this business for all of our new businesses and established businesses in the state. And that's a resource that they're going to have all the time. The people that met from the Agency of Agriculture in the other parts of the state, the Brattleboro Business Development Center, and those sort of things, those are resources that they will have, that you will all have access to from now on. They're going to be there with every step of your business to help you develop that business. And that's really a great thing for you all. Let me talk to you about just a bit about what's happening at Vermont Tech so that you can see how important this competition is in the framework of the college itself. This year, and as of July 1, we officially launched the Institute for Applied Agriculture and Food Systems. Dr. Chris Dutton, who's been a long-serving faculty member at the college, is the first director of the Institute for Applied Ag. We are in the process of working with a number of employers around the state, including Commonwealth Dairy down here in Brattleboro, to build a specialty foods production plant. I have to give credit to the two gentlemen here in the front, because when I visited them last year, we walked away saying, okay, we need to get more into specialty foods and technical education here in Vermont. I can't begin to tell you how much of an annoyance it was to hear that they had to go to South Dakota to get their help. We need to help them do that to be successful here in Vermont. So we're in the process of developing that capacity at Vermont Tech. And that idea came from the employers here in Vermont. Virtually every idea that we have at Vermont Tech was not founded within the college. It came from someplace in Vermont or the region in the effort we serve. Part of that is also the Institute is the specialty foods, we have the working farms, and we're about to break ground on an anaerobic biodigester. It will be one of the first community-based biodigesters in the United States, which means that a group of farms will come together to pool their resources, manure in this case, to feed the digester. And with the new Chapter 148, the Organics Bill here in Vermont, we'll be working with the Agency of Agriculture and the Agency of Natural Resources to develop the regulations and the framework for this type of industry to develop here in the state of Vermont. So many exciting things going on, and a lot of those ideas come out of competitions like this. So congratulations to the participants. You're all winners. I hope you'll stay involved with Vermont Tech and the resources that you have been introduced to as a result of this competition, and good luck with your businesses. One last thing. I can't begin to tell you how excited I get when I walk into a store and I see the products on the shelves that have been the efforts that of the work that we all do together, whether it's goat taffy or a new goat farm that's being developed by one of our recent graduates who won this competition last year. It's great to see that work actually happen. So as a person who's relatively new to Vermont, and as I travel around New England and the country, and I see your products on the shelves, I take personal pride in your success. So congratulations and thank you.
This is my favorite part, and that is to introduce the winners from last year. And I'd like to call up Elizabeth Arenberg and Ismail Samad, who are now very successful owners of The Gleanery, which is a very successful restaurant. Highly recommended attending and enjoying some good dining at the restaurant. It's fabulous. And it'll be great to hear how you've done in 1 year after the competition.
Thank you, Orly.
Thanks.
Hi, I am Liz Elizabeth. This is Ismail. So we entered this competition last year in the new business farm food department, which that was all there was this year, right? There was not the alternate category. So it feels like that was last month, but it also feels like that was 3 years ago. The Gleanery is a restaurant. We opened in, let's see, we won the competition. That was kind of got a lot of different things in motion, mostly our fundraising. We spent most of the summer doing our fundraising and then signed our lease in August and then opened for the first time in November and started doing regular dinners in December. So that was kind of our real official opening date. And then just a couple weeks ago, we opened the cafe side of our business. So now we're doing lunch in the cafe and dinner in the restaurant. It's been a long year. It's been very stressful and very difficult, but also very rewarding. We set out. One of the most interesting things in our business plan was our fundraising model, our financial model, which was mostly based on raising half of our capital through getting member shares that we sold throughout the community. So we spent last summer doing a lot of different sort of tasting events and appearances at farmers markets to try to get people in the Putney and the greater area to buy memberships to the restaurant that they then get to cash out in food credit over the course of 3 years. And we were successfully able to raise about $60,000, which was about half of our startup cost, by selling those memberships. And then pulled together the rest of the money from ourselves, which are $5,000 from the business plan. Gave us a lot to come to the table with, and then basically some other small investors just about at that same level all came together, and we completed our fundraising that way and actually opened a restaurant, which is still pretty shocking.
Yeah. And then I guess to add really short is that we were told by the judges that it wasn't a good name. That was one thing that the judges told us, and that we should not open in Putney. and we opened in Putney and we kept our name. So I'm saying that to say that they mean well with their judgment, but still believe in your idea and what you're going to do. What we do is we call it the Gleanery because we have an extended relationship with our farmers. So we use both the beautiful crops and the damaged and gross-looking stuff, and then we turn it into processed foods. We only have a small staff of like 4 part-timers, so I guess we can't really talk about like job creation. However, every single tabletop that is in the restaurant and cafe is handmade by local artisans. All of our art is handmade by local artisans, so it's not employment, but it is job creation in the form of artisans and craftsmen. About 60% of our plates and pottery are handmade. And
we've done a lot of barter work too with artists and craftspeople. Either full barter, well, they'll build a table and get that amount in food credit, or we'll cover the materials cost and they're happy to put in the time for food credit. But it's created a lot of really good relationships with people in the community, and we also know, we moved into the space that was the Front Porch Cafe, and a lot of people really had strong feelings for the cafe and had a place in their heart for that cafe, and were worried about what was going to come in, and it's been really nice to be able to come in and really be a member of the community and really be engaging with people on a lot of different levels, whether it's working with the people at Putney School to work with their kids in their community garden, or working with the craftsmen to build our tables and our shelves. It really has been a true community effort, which has been really nice and has been really great for our support for the people that want to come in and dine with us and support what we're doing. And
I think that's it.
I mean, yeah. Yes, thank you. So congratulations to this year's winners.
This segues into another wonderful company that's been in Brattleboro for 3 years. And we're so happy to have the Green Mountain Creamery in Brattleboro. And I just want to plug a little something for them because I'm so proud of them. They just were named the most innovative company at the International Dairy Competition and won for their maple yogurt. Could you guys stand up?
And finally, just a brief mention as well to some other people who were important for this process. Denise and Karen from Sevka were part of the planning team for this and also supported some of the finalists in their competition, as well as Deborah Boudreau from the Small Business Development Center and Martha Trombley Oaks from Vermont Tech, who was part of the planning group. So at this time, we'll move forward to the presentations and announcement of awards, and it's my great pleasure to introduce for that Chuck Ross, the Secretary of Agriculture for the state and one of the greatest cheerleaders and resources and supporter for agriculture in the state of Vermont. Chuck.
That's quite a reputation to live up to.
Yes.
I do want to make just a couple of remarks because there's a lesson to my remarks, and it goes like this. Vermont agriculture, when it's done well, starts with a story. And I got a story about a toothpick, and I got a story about a basement, because they're exemplative of what we're talking about today. One was an existing business 20 years ago, plus or minus, that was on its back, almost ready to fold. But for toothpicks and ski slopes, you would not have Cabot cheese today. Rich Stammer and Roberta McDonald stood on the slopes of our Green Mountains, stabbing pieces of Cabot cheese with their toothpicks and putting them in the mouths of skiers from out of state as they went up the slopes. That was the beginning of the revival of Cabot cheese that has been the flagship product for Agrimark Co-op, and a huge success story, so much so that when I go to Iowa, they come to me and say, "I love that Cabot cheese," and I say, "What?" So that's story number one. Story number two starts in a basement some 25 years ago. I was invited by my college roommate over to meet one of their new friends, and they lived on Route 2A in Williston. They were my age, young, we were at the time. I was involved in agriculture, working on my family's farm. They were involved in agriculture. I met the half of the business. His name was Bob. We had a nice dinner in this old house with this really old basement, stone foundation. And he said, I want to show you where we kind of got our most valuable stuff stored. I said, really? Where's that? Well, down in the basement. So click on the light, down rickety old wooden stairs, into the corner of this stone foundation basement. He said, look right in there. I said, what's right in there? He said, that's our cheese cave. I said, what are you, cheese cave? He said, well, that's where we're aging our cheese. And I said, really? So what company are you? That would be the beginning of Vermont Butter and Cheese. In a cheese cave, in a rundown, not so rundown, but old house on Route 2 in Williston. Now, as a multi-million-dollar facility in Barre, producing award-winning cheeses that kick butt all around the world. Now, those are two stories about two agricultural companies started by different people who represent what is best about Vermont. And I'm going to give you a short list without the stories of some others. Just names you might know. Butternut Mountain Farm, Red Chaput, LFO, large farm operation up in Newport, started with 40 cows, now well over 1,000. Oh, Ben & Jerry's, ever heard of them? Jasper Hill, what about them? Eden Ice Cider, Lincoln Peaks, Olivia's Croutons, just to name a few. All have a story to tell. And I was just at a lunch where Paul Harlow's up the street, sitting next to Sam Cutting, and everything he's selling today, he sells with a story about Vermont agriculture and the producers. Every one of these people are entrepreneurs, they had perseverance, and they all attended to quality. They all have a story to tell. So I'm pleased to be here today, hopefully at the beginning of one of these stories for these award winners and people being recognized. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So, at this time, if the student category finalists would come to the front, please. Orly and Phil, if you would join us for presentation. So we're going to get a picture of the finalists here, and then
If not without me moving the...
Chuck will,
So, oh.
Oh, God.
I'm going to have to do this one-handed here. So I'm going to read the award winner and their place in the competition. And third place.
I think we do. Are we done with pictures?
Oh,
Okay. Go ahead.
I can go back to the
Yeah.
podium? Okay. Much safer. So for third place goes to Anna Jo Smith from New Haven. This proposal is an expansion of the Smith family farm to open the Farmer's Butcher. Anna Jo is proposing to open a meat processing facility and store to expand the current operation of selling beef, lamb, pork, and poultry products. Anna Jo, congratulations. So, what do you think? Now, do we do like a pick thing right now? Like you turn around and Jeff takes your picture like this? Come on. I get to take my glasses off. Oh, all right. Thank you. All right, next up. Second place is Meg Urey of Craftsbury Common. Meg is creating a business plan to build a milk processing center in alliance with an existing operating dairy farm. This would allow the farm to stabilize milk price and give the farmer more control compared to the current volatile system. We know all about that. Congratulations. Thank you. And first place Connor Killigrew. Do I get the Killigrew? Killigrew of Putney. Connor's intent is to establish a successful 4 to 6 cow dairy where he will direct market premium pasteurized whole milk, systems transparency, and assured exceptional quality through diet and processing management will be the driving operational goals. Congratulations. Thank you. Now, look at the camera. We got,
Take it. Yeah, do your flag. There you go.
We do this.
So if the finalists of the new business category would come up, please.
All right. Thank you.
Do one picture with everybody and then the individual awards.
Oh yeah. I got to get my glasses on. There we go.
Just move in a horseshoe. Can you get it all? So we move closer?
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. God, stay like that. Stay like that.
All right. In fifth place, Will Aldrich of East Hardwick. Will intends to create a commercial-scale recipe, explore package and distribution options, and collaborate with local growers to produce an artisan meat-free burger, the main ingredients of which are staples of northern agriculture. Congratulations.
This way's a little easier.
Oh, okay. Now we're going this way. All right.
Now people will be able to actually recognize you in the picture.
That'd be good for him, not so much for me.
It's going to be fantastic.
Fourth place, Susan Monahan from Montgomery Center. Whole Fire Farm is the working title, I'm told. They plan to raise grass-fed livestock on a diversified farm in the Northeast Kingdom. They work with natural systems to improve the ecosystem health while providing the freshest, healthiest food to Vermonters most in need of it.
But you look good, Chuck.
That's only the camera. All right. Third place, Peter Winslow of Jamaica Terrafunga, a mushroom farm dedicated to growing varieties of gourmet mushrooms outdoors for the culinary market, with the anticipation of building indoor grow houses for year-round production and medicinal mushrooms for the medical market. You got to face that. Ooh. Congratulations. Second place, Bonnie Paris of Lindenville. Mosaic Organic, a modern market and cafe sourcing locally produced food and products and selling them in a setting that will serve as a community showcase of the best of what the area has to offer. The plan's objective is to launch the new store and expand the market for locally produced food in a purpose-driven business. Congratulations.
He's not so good now.
Yeah. So, I think we figured out who the winner is. First place is Gabriel O'Malley of Waterbury. Robbins Mountain Enterprise. Robbins Mountain Enterprise is a small family-owned maple sugaring farm. They plan to expand their maple sugaring operation and add a unique agritourism component. Congratulations.
And the existing business.
I wasn't sure if you wanted these.
Steve didn't tell us to, so let's just think that we didn't.
Okay. I like your style. Oh, God, I keep forgetting my photo opportunity. see.
Yeah, okay, yes. So this is, I guess they just said runners up too. They didn't give it a 4 and a 5. So in this case, just say runners up
Okay.
and then 3.
All right. According to my instructions,
The judges did a little differently this time.
we have, I don't know what you call him, the first runner-up, but one of the runner-ups is Dan Racioli from Williston. Possibilities, Dan is creating a plan for both a process improvement and energy efficiency upgrade. Their kitchen currently has 11 individual freezers, which waste energy, floor space, and labor. They plan to use their prize money to help purchase and install a new walk-in freezer. Great, congratulations. He's following in the Williston footsteps of Vermont Butter and Cheese, right, Dan? You bet. All right. Yeah. The other runner-up is Callie Hastings of Brookfield, Fat Toad Farm. We are a family-run goat dairy in central Vermont in our 6th year of business. We specialize in the production of goat's milk, caramel, or the Mexican confection known as that. Cajita. Over the next 3 years, we intend to increase farm efficiencies, increase market share and profitability, while researching options for new product lines and explore new ways to use our existing resources and possible expansion options. Kelly, congratulations. Well done. Oh, good. In third place, Stephen Berzon, Manchester Center. Garden Arts Fresh Market and Country Store, established April 2012. The Garden Arts Fresh Market, buy local, eat well, live long, is open 7 days, featuring retailing locally grown and produced farm-to-table foods. They produce to build an on-site. They plan to produce. They will produce. They know they propose. That's what they plan to do. They propose to build an on-site licensed kitchen where market foods can be prepared for takeout. We're going this side. Yeah. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
And second place, Patricia Austin of Brattleboro, Wildflower Vermont Bakery. Established as a farmers market bakery, the business mission is to create delicious, artisan, quality baked goods that support Vermont farms by using locally produced and organic ingredients. The business is committed to environmentally friendly packaging, composting, and education. The bakery makes European and American-style baked goods and offers traditional wheat and gluten-free products. Expansion plans are to relocate to a larger kitchen and vend at an additional farmers market. The business will also develop an online retail and wholesale gourmet cookie company, and offer cooking classes and start a baking blog. Congratulations, Patricia. Well done. Nope, you can't go away. We've got to get this photo. This is the beginning of the story right here.
Still trying to get a good one of him. So
Yeah, thank you. Very tolerant. All right. Maybe. Kara Fitzgerald, Ryan Wood Beauchamp. Okay. Cuttingsville Evening Song Farm. Nice to see you both again, by the way. Kara and Ryan operating Evening Song Farm, a biodynamic vegetable CSA in Cuttingsville. They prioritize soil health, nutritious food, community vibrancy, and apprentice education. They've been working to relocate the farm after losing it to Tropical Storm Irene and plan to use the award money towards a new high tunnel to further expand their winter marketing. They epitomize perseverance. Yes. Come on up, Carol. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. That concludes the awards and the program. I'd like to just mention, let me mention to all of the finalists that we'd like for you to pick up your business plans, and they're in this little room off to the side here. Many of the judges wrote comments on the plans for you. And Orly?
I just want to make some wonderful news. I just received that the Strolling of the Heifers, in conjunction with the work of Vermont Technical College, just received a wonderful grant from the Vermont Community Foundation for $10,000. I understand we were selected, it was boiled down to 60, and 11 were awarded, and we got $10,000 to help us with next year's business plan, where we plan on and hope to create 3 different regional competitions. And then those 3 winners will compete against each other for the state. So I just want to thank Vermont Community Foundation for providing that to the Strolling of the Heifers and believing that we can do that. So wonderful news, and we're excited to work on the competition for next year.